It's late, right? What time? We're cooking. Let's do this. Everybody at the ready? Let's get this thing underway, shall we? Match number 2 tonight on the 17th of February.
There it is. Always tricky.
Oh, hang on a second, I don't have my timer going.
I can never say February.
February.
I know, but I just like to ignore it.
Quiet on the set, people. Quiet on the set. Here we go. Welcome to Academic Challenge. My name is Jim Gifford, your host and moderator. And this time around, we're featuring teams from Coloma and Berrien Springs. WSJM's Academic Challenge features scholastic competition involving high schools from Berrien and Van Buren counties. Academic Challenge sponsored by Waterville Public Schools, Lake Michigan College, Lakeshore Public Schools, and by Chemical Bank. First and foremost, let's meet the teams, and let's start with Berrien Springs.
Joseph Johnson, and I'm a freshman.
Corey Hookwitz, and I'm a senior.
Matthew, I'm a junior.
Brady West, I'm a sophomore.
Your parents and your coach tonight is, gentlemen?
Virginia Shum, but she is being replaced right now with Miss Roth.
Okay. I hope she's okay with that. From the fine town of Coloma, who do we have here?
William Wilcox, senior.
Rebecca Coleman, senior. Brandon Peak, senior.
Corey Hamilton, sophomore.
Beautiful. Melina, your coach or coaches?
Taylor Shue and Sarah Glisson.
Ta-da. Welcome, one and all. Here are the basic rules. First and second, as well as the value of each question before it's asked, you'll have 10 seconds to answer. 15 if it's a math question. When you press your button, please wait to be recognized. There is no consultation allowed. There will be in the 60-second round at halftime. Please keep the microphones up close to your face. I'll be your scorekeeper and judge, and Bill Klein is our co-judge. He'll be asking the questions tonight. Everybody ready? Let's get this thing started. Bill Klein.
All right, we're starting with a math question.
For 5 points.
Beautiful. How many seconds does a speed skater take per lap if she skates with a constant speed and finishes a 13-lap race in 5 minutes and 51 seconds?
And it's time. Oh, sorry.
Get him.
Who was that? Brady? Give it a shot.
27 seconds per.
That is a correct answer for 5 points.
How about that?
That's good. That's good. All right, for 10 points, define ethnocentrism.
Melina, Coloma.
The belief that one society is superior to all other societies.
That's a correct answer for 10 points.
Stand by.
For 15 points, a man goes to this is another math question. A man goes to visit his friend 30 miles away. He doesn't mind speeding, so he travels at 60 miles per hour and arrives in half an hour. On the way back, however, he has a little trouble with his car, and it takes him an hour to reach his home. What is his average speed for the round trip?
Melina, Coloma.
45 miles per hour.
Incorrect.
Berrien Springs, take a shot at it. Brady's right there at the wire again.
30 miles per hour.
40 miles per hour. For 10 points, Philip II of Macedon was building a highly proficient army, and the Greek city-states were fighting one another. Identify the orator who persuaded Athens to enter into an alliance with Thebes.
Brady, Berrien Springs.
Cicero.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds.
No, Socrates.
Corey?
Alexander the Great. That was Philip's son. Demosthenes. For 15 points, which president used the 4.4 program to help underdeveloped nations meet the threat of communism?
Brady, Berrien Springs.
Eisenhower.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Melina?
Kennedy.
Truman. For 20 points, Schiller, the German poet, wrote a great play based on the 16th century struggles for freedom of the Netherlands against Spain. Which of Verdi's operas is based on this theme?
Time.
Don Carlos. For 10 points. Its atomic number is 13. Its atomic weight is 27. Strong, lightweight.
Brady, Berrien Springs.
Aluminum.
That's correct for 10 points. For 10 points. What name is shared by different men in the New Testament who were the son of Zebedee, the son of Alphaeus, the son of Cleopas, the brother of Jesus, and the author of a general epistle?
Matthew, Berrien Springs.
John.
Incorrect.
Coloma. Billy.
Paul.
James. For 5 points. This office was created in the 12th century England and was charged with safeguarding all the crown property. In the 19th century, all powers were removed from the office except the job of determining the cause of death. Name this post.
Matthew, Berrien Springs.
Mortician.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Billy.
Detective.
Incorrect. The coroner. For 15 points. Under our Constitution, certain officers are subject to impeachment by a majority vote of the House and to conviction by a 2/3 vote of the Senate. How and by what vote are members of Congress removed?
Corey, Coloma.
No vote. They have to be elected out, not re-elected. They're safeguarded.
Incorrect.
Berrien Springs, 5 seconds. Joseph.
They are voted out by the House, and it's a 2/3 majority.
No, it's an incorrect
Boy,
answer.
yeah. It's close.
It's 2/3 vote of the House that they belong to. So if it's
House or
it's,
Senate.
South or Senate.
Oh.
Of course, they never do it, so it doesn't make A math question for 10 points. How much space is there inside a packing crate that is 16 inches long, 12 1/2 inches wide, and 7 1/2 inches high?
Time.
1,500 cubic inches. For 20 points, in phonetics, what is the correct term for consonants which begin with the air from the throat blocked off and the sound being formed with the release of air, as in the consonants P, B, T, D, K, and G? We're looking for the term.
Molina, Coloma.
Guttural.
Incorrect.
Berrien Springs, 5 seconds. Time.
Plosives.
What?
For 15 points. In 1902, President Theodore Roosevelt appointed him to the Supreme Court. His interpretation of the Constitution led him to his doctrine of clear and present danger. He criticized the Sherman Antitrust Act. He served as Justice of the Supreme Court until he was 90 and was a noted dissenter and leader of the liberal wing of the court. He was the son of a noted author and physician. Can you name him?
Corey, Berrien Springs.
Marshall.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Corey.
Maury.
Incorrect. Oliver Wendell Holmes, Jr. A math question for 10 points. You love it, these guys. No, Jello and Broad would like to have 240 guests at their wedding. And they sent out that many invitations. but only 60% of those invited will actually come. How many more invitations should they send to end up with the total number of desired guests?
Brady, Berrien Springs.
96 invitations.
Incorrect.
And Coloma. Time.
160. And it's impossible because they're not getting it. For 20 points. In which of Nathaniel Hawthorne's short stories do we read, Georgiana, said Aylmar, has it never occurred to you that the mark upon your cheek might be removed?
Billy, Coloma.
Scarlet Letter.
Incorrect.
Yes. Berrien Springs. Joseph.
The minister's black veil.
Incorrect. The birthmark.
Next question, final question of the first half.
For 15 points. Marion was a mysterious and beautiful woman in a romance by Nathaniel Hawthorne. For love of her, Donatello commits murder. Give me the title of the work in which she is a character.
Joseph, Berrien Springs.
Is that one the Scarlet Letter?
No.
Incorrect.
Coloma. 5 seconds to you. And that's time.
The Marble Fawn.
Of course. That
Read it yesterday.
is the end of the first half of today's academic challenge between Coloma and Berrien Springs. We'll be back with the score on the 62nd round after this on WSJM, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest.
It's just about. I had just got 160 in my hand.
Here, boy.
Miscellaneous island or Virginia?
I might be able to do islands.
I agree with Island too.
Yeah.
I could probably do that one.
So let's say no Virginia.
It's
a Yeah.
new scoring affair.
Because I don't know anything about Virginia other than
I can tell you that there's a West Virginia and a Virginia.
Yeah.
Well,
Miscellaneous island?
yeah, miscellaneous or islands.
I would say miscellaneous because
Oh yeah, miscellaneous islands.
Yes.
I don't know much about islands.
I know Madagascar has rumors.
We were just islands. When I was like 8, I signed up to be like some kind of elite team from Madagascar.
I'll just say, this is quite a mighty fun game.
The Sandwich Islands is currently the old name for Hawaii.
Thanks. Now we're cool again.
The sandwich
just got warm.
Hawaii used to be called the Sandwich Islands.
Let's
Sandwich.
go to Christmas Island. That sounds like a fun
I know,
place.
it's somewhere in
I want to say
it's somewhere in Indonesia.
I want to say it's in Samoa, actually.
It's further west.
Yeah, here we go. Let's bring it back.
Eastern India.
Here we go. And at the end of the first half, the score, low scoring affair thus far. Berrien Springs 15, Coloma 10. And we move on to the 62nd round. Teams will have 3 categories to choose from. We'll give you 60 seconds to answer as many of the 10 questions as you can. Each is worth 10 points. There is a 20-point bonus if you answer all 10 within the time limit. And you are encouraged to consult with one another at this point. The answers, though, must come from the team captain. After your minute is up, your opposition has a chance to answer those you passed on, those you missed, those you didn't get to. Coloma, you're trailing at the moment. First choice of these categories, miscellaneous, island. What's the last one? Virginia? Virginia.
We're going to go with miscellaneous.
They're going to go with miscellaneous. All right. Does that need any kind of a setup needed there, Mr. Clary?
No setup.
There is no
This is
setup.
just
It's just miscellaneous.
Yeah.
All right. We'll start the clock and at the ready.
The first and last letters of the alphabet form the postal abbreviation of which state?
Arizona.
That's
You don't need
correct.
those.
Riding these animals is the most dangerous event in a rodeo because they are usually weigh about at least a ton.
Bull.
That's correct. In which century did Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart live and compose?
1600s.
Incorrect. Which language is used in the scientific names for all constellations?
Latin.
That's correct. When he died, Albert Einstein left what part of his anatomy to Princeton University?
Brain.
Correct. What's the letter at the top of an optometrist's eye chart?
E.
Correct. Add one letter to overalls to get another word for a loose-fitting garment.
Coveralls.
Correct. What's the animal usually mentioned in the definition of the color sorrel?
Could you say that color again?
Sorrel.
Oh, isn't it like a never mind. I'm just not gonna-
Anything?
Oh, isn't it a black color? Like dark color. Black.
the
like
animal.
Oh, the animal.
All right, we'll take that
Yeah,
as a
sorry.
pass.
Yeah.
I've got 6 correct for 60
60.
points for Coloma. And we'll reset the clock and turn the category over to Berrien Springs for those that were passed on, missed, or we didn't get to. And whenever you are ready, Berrien Springs, here we go.
There you go. In which century did Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart live and compose?
17th.
18th. It was 1700s. What's the animal usually mentioned in the definition of the color sorrel?
Raven.
Incorrect. It's horse. What is the name of the national flag of the United Kingdom?
Yeah, Union Jack.
That's correct. Tulips are best planted in what season?
Spring. Spring.
Spring? Incorrect. Fall.
One correct for Berrien Springs as we wrap up that category for a total of 10 points for Berrien Springs. We'll stay with Berrien Springs. They now check or choose from the remaining 2 categories in the 60-second round, which are Islands and Virginia. What do you like?
We shall take Island.
We shall take Islands.
Okay.
All right, then.
Again, no setup for this one.
No setup for this one either. And 60 seconds on the clock. Berrien Springs, here you go.
Where did the mafia originate?
Sicily.
Correct. What island was discovered by Juan Bermudez, who was shipwrecked there in 1522?
Bermuda.
Correct. What Mediterranean island nation is called Chipre in Spanish?
Malta.
Incorrect. What islands got their name from the Spanish words for shallow water? Baja Mar.
Bahamas.
Correct. What group of islands was transferred from Danish to American control in 1917?
Pass.
Which group of islands composed of the Greater Antilles, the Lesser Antilles, and the Bahamas?
Caribbean.
Incorrect. This island nation is the largest and westernmost island in the West Indies.
Cuba.
Correct. What's the first and largest of the Florida Keys?
Key West.
Incorrect. The New Hebrides are islands administered by both Britain and France. In what ocean are they?
Atlantic.
Incorrect.
Total of 4 correct.
Four.
4 correct for 40 points for Berrien Springs. And we will reset the clock and turn that category over to Coloma for more on islands. And the clock is ready.
Okay.
Coloma, you're ready? Here we
Yeah.
go.
What Mediterranean island nation is called Chipre in Spanish?
Belarus.
Cyprus.
Cyprus.
What group of islands was transferred from Danish to American control in 1917?
Calicos and Turks.
The Virgin Islands. Which group of islands is composed of the Greater Antilles, the Lesser Antilles, and the Bahamas?
Pass.
What's the first and largest of the Florida Keys?
Key Largo.
Correct. The New Hebrides are islands administered by both Britain and France. In what ocean are they?
Pacific.
Correct. Name the British colony, now an independent island republic, which is located at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula.
Singapore.
Correct. And what? Okay.
3 correct for 30 points for Coloma. And that wraps up the 60-second round. We'll check the scores and conclude the game of the second half.
65.
Next here on WSJM, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest. All right.
We have a new one on Coloma.
C-A-R-L-Y.
Oh, dang it. We could just reuse the Carly with the K one.
No, you don't get what you want.
Thank you for giving me a lesson on
They
life.
got one of ours. They got one of ours in full here.
That's good.
Because they had 75.
Nailed it.
So we're back to Jessica and
fair.
Carly. Is that it?
Oh
I
man.
really want to go, good evening from Berrien Springs. I just sound corny like radio announcers do. It's better in the morning, though. Like a talk show.
I was debating.
Good morning.
It weirded
Watch it
me
be
out
like
when I first got
on.
here and you said Berrien Springs. I'm like, it's from both.
I am double. Yeah, we are twinning. We are twinning right now.
Can you imagine what a practical joke the announcer could play if he just kept the mics on?
No. Let's just
All right.
switch out the seats.
That's like,
I'm good.
just kidding. This isn't commercial break.
It's a black tie occasion. But they don't know
Oh my God. All right, that'll work.
Then I like, got,
so good.
you know, you get older and you get more taste, like quiet more.
microphone.
Like tea, I thought.
You know what?
I'm really
Tomorrow.
disgusting
Like
now. Just
static.
listening
Just
to you.
like,
I think we're breaking up. It's the opposite of an energy drink.
All right.
I can see that.
All right, here we go.
De-energizer.
All right, peoples, let's bring it back and conclude the match here. Here we go.
Stop when it's empty.
The score at the end of the 62nd round, Coloma 100, Berrien Springs 65. Time now to find out what's happening at each of our participating schools. And first from Coloma, here is Melina.
hello. Coloma High School has been really full of fun activities since we finished our Winterfest celebration last week. All the hallways were decorated with a Winter Wonderland theme, and each day of the week we had like a special dress-up day. Towards the end of the week, we had a pep assembly, and our student section at the game on Friday night was really rowdy and full of spirit, which is always fun. And that evening, there was a Winterfest dance sponsored by FEA, and our court for that dance was Brianna Melrose and Rob Lawson. We had our winter break last Friday, and we had yesterday after school, which is always fun. Tomorrow night we have parent-teacher conferences from 4 to 7, and Thursday night we have a band concert in our new auditorium. This weekend is really big for us. Our school play is being performed Saturday night at 7 and Sunday at 3 p.m. It's just another high school play. It's the title, and our academic challenge coach, Sarah Glisson, is actually the director of the play, and we hope that lots of people come in support of that. And we'd like to congratulate our Comet competitive cheer team for their first place win at Cheer by the Pier last night at St. Joe, and their next competition is Wednesday at Vicksburg, so send our joy out for them, I guess. We'd like to say good luck to Miss Coloma Macy Welch and Mr. Coloma Jason Clark as they prepare for the upcoming Blossom Time pageant. And finally, we'd like to thank the radio stations at WSJM for hosting this event tonight, as well as our sponsors, Chemical Bank, Waterville Public Schools, Lake Michigan College, and the Lakeshore Lancers. Thank you.
Thank you, Melina. And to find out what's going on with the Shamrocks, here's Brady from Berrien Springs.
Greetings from Berrien Springs High School. Winter sports are getting ready to wrap up their seasons. Wrestling has finished their season for the year. However, 5 Shamrock wrestlers move on to individual regional competition. Advancing to regional competition are Garrett Cleveland, Ramiro Williams, Johnny Boone, Gage Wells, and Sebastian Warsop, who will compete this Saturday, February 21st at Otsego High School. This Wednesday, February 18th, we will hold our annual art show at the high school from 6 to 7 p.m. Immediately following is our winter choir concert in the high school gymnasium. All choirs will perform under the direction of Mrs. Carrie Vandenberg. Don't miss this wonderful evening of enchanting music. The choirs are gearing up for District Choral Festival to be held on Tuesday, February 24th and Wednesday, February 25th at the chapel in St. Joe. On Thursday, February 26th, we will hold our annual pre-festival band concert at 7 o'clock p.m. in the high school gym. On Thursday, March 5th, we will host the 5th Annual Shamrock Quiz Bowl Invitational beginning at 6 p.m. We look forward to exciting Quiz Bowl action. Now, before we close tonight, we would like to thank the radio stations of WSJM FM 94.9 and their sponsors, Chemical Bank and Lake Michigan College, Lakeshore Public School, and Waterville Community Schools for sponsoring this event.
Well done, Brady. Thank you kindly. We have a couple of substitutions. First from Berrien Springs. Back in action is...
Jessica Chin.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And from Coloma?
Carly Lentz, Jr.
Welcome, one and all. Let's begin the second half of today's academic challenge between Coloma and Berrien Springs. And Bill Klein, whenever you are ready.
This is a 15-point question. This name was once applied to the hedgehog and goblins who were believed to take the form of a hedgehog. It also refers to goblin-like boys. What is this word, which commonly refers now to spiny sea creatures?
Melina, Coloma.
Urchin.
That is correct for 15 points. For 10 points, he was so persuasive on matters geographical that he was named Pilot Major of Spain from 1508 until his death in 1512. He probably made 2 voyages to the New World and was not, as he claimed, the first European to set foot on the New World continent. Who was he?
Billy, Coloma.
Christopher Columbus.
Incorrect.
Berrien Springs, Brady.
Ferdinand Magellan.
Amerigo Vespucci for 15 points. Averaging only 121 feet in depth, it is the smallest major sea. It is located between China and Korea. Name this body of...
Brady, Berrien Springs.
The Yellow Sea.
That is correct for 15 points.
Yangtze.
For 10 points, he was succeeded first by his second wife, Catherine, then by a grandson who shared his name, then by his niece, Anna, then by his daughter, Elizabeth.
Brady, Berrien Springs.
King Henry VIII.
Incorrect.
Finish it.
Then by another grandson with the same name, and finally by that grandson's wife, Catherine the Great. Who are we talking about?
Coloma. Billy.
King James.
Peter the Great, Russian. For 20 points, name the composer and pianist who was a singer of a signer of the Treaty of Versailles in 1919.
Melina, Coloma.
Tchaikovsky.
Incorrect.
Berrien Springs, 5 seconds.
Tchaikovsky.
Corey.
Otto von Bismarck.
Incorrect. It was Ignace Jan Paderewski. Here's a math question for 5 points. From a board 38 and a half inches long, Paul cut a piece 17 and 5/8 inches long. How long was the remaining piece?
Melina, Coloma.
20 and 3/8.
Incorrect.
Berrien Springs, 5 seconds. Corey.
20 and 7/8.
That is correct for 5 points. For 15 points, if we nominate him, Hillary Clinton is the next president, said Ted Cruz, after who announced that he was exploring a 2016 presidential run.
Joseph, Berrien Springs.
Jeb Bush.
That's correct for 15 points. For 20 points, the U.S. Treasury has reported what problems with pennies and nickels?
Corey, Coloma.
Their value is lower than what they're producing by.
That is correct for 20 points. For 10 points, last January, the Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board published a report stating that this agency was acting illegally.
Joseph, Berrien Springs.
NSA.
That is correct for 10 points. For 10 points, an article claims Obama administration officials have called this man a word unfit for family programming, as well as other insults. Who is this Israeli leader?
Joseph, Berrien Springs.
Morsi.
Incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Time.
Benjamin Netanyahu. And he's actually
no.
Netanyahu.
No.
I saw him speak one time.
Netanyahu.
Nice guy. For 10 points, 4 former employees of what private security firm were found guilty in the Iraq War shooting deaths of 14 unarmed Iraqis?
Corey, Coloma.
Blackwater.
That is correct for 10 points. For 10 points, who led all NFL quarterbacks in passing rating this season?
I wouldn't know that.
Corey, Coloma.
Tom Brady.
Incorrect.
Berrien Springs, 5 seconds. Jessica.
Michael Vick.
Once, but not this time.
Not this time. And it wasn't Jay Cutler either.
Yeah.
It was Tony Romo from the Dallas Cowboys.
Stafford.
For 5 points, who led all NFL running backs in rushing yardage this season?
What's with the sports?
Billy, Coloma.
Oh dang! I just forgot his name. DeMarcus. No, I don't remember. Never mind.
Keep going.
Was it?
DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh. Berrien Springs.
I think that
He was looking hopeful.
You are on the right track.
DeMarco Murray. Again, Dallas Cowboys. For 20 points,
know how I got that
19 states raised their minimum wage on January 1st. Which state now has the highest?
Joseph, Berrien Springs.
Washington.
That's correct for 20 points. For 10 points, the Department of Justice announced that they want the death penalty for Deshokar Tazarnev.
Yeah, that guy. Joseph, Berrien Springs.
The Boston bombing.
That's correct for 10 points. For 20 points, House Majority Whip Steve Silas, a Republican from Louisiana, said he regretted making a speech to whom in 2002?
That's time.
He should have regretted it. A white supremacist organization founded by the former Ku Klux Klan leader.
Whoa!
Oh my God. That's
not
great.
Oopsie.
Whoops! Gee, and he said he didn't know who they were.
Yes.
Okay, for 15 points! Her first fight with the U.S. Congress came in early 1969, when, as a new House member, she refused to serve on the usually sought-after Agriculture Committee. There were no farmers in her home city district of Brooklyn. Name this African American.
Joseph, Berrien Springs.
Margaret Thatcher.
What?
That would be wrong.
Somebody counts.
Coloma? We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with
Yeah.
you, Joseph.
No, we're laughing at you.
You're right. Coloma, anybody?
No.
No.
Shirley Chisholm.
Damn.
For 15 points.
She's awesome though.
This term describes the angular distance of a celestial body north or south of the celestial equator.
Corey, Berrien Springs.
Zenith.
Incorrect. Finish the sentence.
Okay.
I guess I don't want me to
Philly?
finish the sentence.
Azimuth.
No. Declination. Which would have made sense if you'd have let me finish it. For 10 points. In June 1950, Maine Senator Margaret Chase Smith and 6 other Republican senators issued a declaration of conscience, condemning, though not by name, the tactics of a certain fellow Republican senator from Wisconsin. Name him.
I barely know our senators.
Joseph, Berrien Springs.
Nixon.
Incorrect.
I had to sing.
Coloma, 5 seconds.
Hey.
Time.
Joseph McCarthy.
Next question. Final question of the second half.
For 20 points. What type of hybridization exists in ammonia?
Billy, Coloma.
SP2.
Incorrect.
Berrien Springs, 5 seconds. Jessica.
Whooping cough.
Incorrect. It was SP3.
That was so close. All right, that wraps it up. The end of today's academic challenge match. We'll tabulate the scores and announce the winners after this on WSJM, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest.
Good charge, guys. Good charge.
I was gonna guess wildly, and that would have been it.
This is kind of
should
like
have done it
orbitals and things like that. You got pi bonds,
I was
sigma
like waiting. I
bonds.
was like,
Sigma
I was trying to
bonds.
think.
I was gonna guess on that one royal
Yeah, the-
coroner one.
I love
The
the
one
like.
that's
Oh,
like
I would have.
It's like
That was
the,
so good.
and then there's that one, and then there's that one.
Yeah, like
Just-
some
if we're
of
gonna
them
lose,
are
please
the
be by more than
180 degree ones. The
I can't
109.5.
No, be exactly by 20
120.
points.
These-
Like
I
we
mean,
were
this is
15
120,
point lead.
yeah.
Chicken
No.
planer would be
come
109.
Then there would have been a
This
tiebreaker.
game's
Chicken
really
planer
fun.
would be SP2.
Oh my
SP3,
god.
that's-
I'm just having
Yeah.
fun with each other.
And usually there'll be like, I think.
I honestly have no
triple
idea
double-
what the score is.
No.
I don't. I lost track.
Yeah. Yeah, they look. Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It was fun before this game even started with us trash talking each other over geography.
I don't think that's necessarily
Oh, you missed the whole
That's
trash
a
talk.
talk.
Oh my gosh.
It's more of almanac.
Which is not even a
Is
city.
it gonna start up again?
Just
or?
straight.
It is gonna.
It's the same thing.
I got questions on dance.
Here we go.
And the Ayatollah Peninsula. That's
Atolian.
I do.
Okay,
Anatolian Peninsula.
just give me.
Wait, what? Atolian Peninsula.
Just give me points, okay? I pronounce it.
Wait, which is the Atolian Peninsula?
It's the Turkish one.
Fine on the air.
Oh, I know why I was
Phosphorus?
SP3.
Yes,
Good to
it's
know.
the Turkish side.
Yeah, Anatolian Peninsula is way bigger.
It's the
No.
it's the big one.
All right, people, we'll bring it back here and wrap it up. Once you get on with the rest of your lives, or at least whatever's going on tonight.
Winterfest.
Here we go. We are back on WSJM's Academic Challenge to announce today's winner and thank our sponsors. And Billy, you'll be happy to know you did not need that correct answer. The winners by a score of 145 to 140, the team from Coloma. How about a nice hand for Coloma? Congratulations. We thank you for joining us on the WSJM's Academic Challenge, brought to you by Lakeshore Public Schools, Lake Michigan College, Waterville Lake Public Schools, and by Chemical Bank. That wraps up the regular season. We begin our end-of-season tournament next time here on Academic Challenge. Thank you, one and all.
Good job.
Well done.